This is an Evergreen Media Network studio production.
This is Martha Matters. From real estate, healthcare, current events, taxes, or just about any topic, we're talking about it. Call us with any questions on just about any subject. Now, here she is, Martha!
Well, hi there, and good day. Hey, we have a lot going on, but there is one new item coming up, becoming prevalent, and that is measles. It's a funny thing. When I was growing up, they did come out with the vaccine, but most of the time things went around and we all caught them. Well, I didn't catch it until I was over 40 years old. So it seems like yesterday, but believe it or not, I did not have a severe case of it, but I will mention it again a little later in this broadcast. Basically, measles can never be confused with chicken pox or some of the others. You do get a rash, but there is no itching whatsoever. The rash that I had on my arms, my neck, my face, it felt the same as sunburn. It was an absolute stinging if anything touched it. The first couple of nights I had the rash, I didn't even sleep with a sheet on me.
Oh, wow.
Anything that touched my skin started stinging. It caused my skin to start stinging. That's how I reacted to it. But the itch, it looks like a roseola or a rash of many different types. I am very, very, very lucky. I know how I got it. I was a supervisor of a lab, and one of the toddlers upstairs in the nursery got it. And when they sent the serum and blood samples down, it is so contagious that even serum and blood samples and body secretions like urine that you may be testing, all of those things will put the measles virus right up into the air. And you don't have to touch the serum or anything else. It is very, very volatile and very airborne. So that's how I got it. And then 5 days later at home, I started coming down with the symptoms. And I am very, very lucky because the time that I got it in the 1980s is when there was AIDS going around and nobody fully understood it. Mm-hmm. And there were a couple of other forms of pneumonia in New York City. I think pneumococcal pneumonia that got transmitted mistakenly through a couple of blood donations or something. So people were nervous of getting that. So when I said I had a rash, just everybody said, I don't know what it is, but stay home and I won't come near you. I felt like an outcast. I ended up feeling a lot worse before I felt better, so I called a doctor. My own doctor, internal medicine, was on vacation, and a pediatrician was filling in for him. And the pediatrician came to the house, checked me out, looked in my mouth, back by my last molar, in between that and my wisdom tooth, there was a blue spot. They call it Kaposi's spot. Most people don't bother looking at your gums for it, but the pediatrician said, oh, you have a perfect case of the measles. You have nothing else. And thank goodness I got a pediatrician to diagnose it. If I had an older 80-year-old semi-retired doctor coming, he probably wouldn't even think of it. He'd probably send me to the hospital and put me in isolation or something. thinking it was one of those other diseases, because I was just tickled pink. I got a very fast, rapid, and absolute diagnosis, so I was very happy. But getting onto the symptoms, it is not pleasant. It starts on your face, usually around the hairline, between your ears and your forehead, and then it goes down where you'll have red spots on your face. Don't confuse it with acne. And then it goes down your shoulders and down your arms. And with me, it never made it to my legs, but some people it does. And the rash is absolutely horrible. Like I said, if you touch it, it feels like sunburn. It stings. And in order to lie down and hardly move, so it was not pleasant, to say the least. And I'm very lucky. As an adult, I never got some of the adult complications. Thank God, I was not a smoker. The pediatrician said, Martha, if you were a smoker, you'd definitely have pneumonia. This made it to your throat, and it stopped there because you're not a smoker. And I said, oh, thank you. And in addition to that, there's something else that is horrible. One in every few thousand people who have the measles get it, and it's called encephalitis. And that means the virus goes to your brain or your head. And what makes it bad is your head wants to get swollen to fight the virus. Well, you all know your head is protected by a skull. So if your brain really, really enlarges due to filling of fluid, your doctor literally has to put a couple of holes in your skull to drain it out. And you stay in the hospital, of course, while that is being done. So don't get encephalitis. And then when the virus goes away, well, then your brain is actually plugged up, and all of a sudden you start getting better. But I don't wish encephalitis on anyone. Sometimes, if it's not treated right and parts of the brain continue to swell up, it actually can kill you by stopping your respiration. So it's a very serious complication. Make sure, if you know of anybody who has the measles, to take it seriously. And there is no cure for it. There is a vaccine preventing it. But let's face it, since COVID and everything else, so many newborns and so many parents and others, they're all anti-vaccines of any kind. That's the latest fad. And this is a mistake if your kids don't get it. I think the public schools still require it, but you can go to many private schools and other academies, and whether you get vaccines or not is your own business. And so if measles is on the rise, please, people, you can prevent that from happening. Just like an older adult can prevent getting shingles from smallpox. And believe me, it is worth the vaccine. Those are terrible. But
go ahead, Martha.
Yeah.
Those vaccines have been around for a really long time. The measles one, especially the MMR, I mean, at least for,
Yes.
50, 60 something years. And
Oh, yes.
you'd think that testing for those would have ruled out any, variants or whatever. But I know there's a lot of people, like you said, I don't know if it's a fad or not, that don't want to get vaccines. But that one's kind of been proven for a really long time.
Yes, it's been proven very safe. And it's dangerous if younger than 3 months get the 3 months old get the measles, and it's dangerous if people over 50 get the...
I was going to ask that because it's kind of notorious that people that are older that get chicken pox, they get a worse dose and worse, side effects and the whole bit. And I was going to ask that about the measles. I remember having the measles myself, but really not as prevalent as what you're saying. I remember that we had it, my brothers and I had it together, and we always seemed to get everything together. My poor mom.
That was good. I got it, like I said, I was over 40 when I got the measles from looking at the hospital. So I'm glad I got it. And everyone asks the question, oh, when you get it so late and everything, can you get the measles again? The wonderful answer to that question is no. You have it once, and it doesn't matter when you get it, from 3 months old to 99 years old. If you've had measles once, you don't get it again. Your body has a nice permanent immunity to that. Thank goodness. So there's nothing to worry about if you've either had it or had the vaccine for it. It's a very, very preventable thing. And the reason it's on the rise is twofold. One I already mentioned with the anti-vaccine rumors going around regarding COVID. People are not taking any vaccines at all. And that is a big mistake. Like you just said, Cindy, it's been proven for decades.
Well, I think it would be. The other thing that I want to light on is a lot of people think or attribute the vaccines to some of the other diseases that have come out now. And I don't know if that's true or not, if they've looked into that or looked into it or not. I can't think of it on the top of my head that a lot of kids have gotten recently, and they're like, oh, that's because of all the vaccines. I don't know if that's true or not, honestly.
Yeah. Honestly, most of the vaccines that I know of, the polio one way back, that really, they were as safe as can be.
Yeah.
And those that still exist, I highly recommend, if you haven't had measles, I don't care how old or young you are, get the vaccine. You can go right into Publix and get it. At least in Florida.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's kids that are on the spectrum is what it was. A lot of people attributed that condition to vaccines and stuff, vaccine side effects. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm sure they've done tons of research about it.
The first outbreak and another one in Chicago and New York, I attribute it, I'm pretty sure, some of the illegal migration that's come in, that's been bused to various cities, that seems to be where it's starting up. Because outside this country, a lot of countries, especially third world countries, not Europe, but South America and others, they probably don't even have the vaccines. So if they come here and don't get inoculated and checked, which is not what's happening, they could spread the measles. It takes 5 days of exposure before the symptoms appear, and then as the symptoms appear, which is 4 to 5 days later, the rashes stay for 4 to 7 days, which is a full week, and then they start getting weaker. They don't sting anymore and start going away. So it takes a full week of lying there with symptoms and being isolated. It's not fun. It's not fun at all, no matter what age you are. Probably younger than 3 months, it's the worst because they cry all the time, feeling the sting of the rash, and they get exhausted and worn out just crying and then sleep for an hour or two and then keep crying. And that drives parents crazy. And I fully agree and understand with their being so upset. But other than bed rest, other than drinking many fluids, and there are certain things to eat. It helps if you eat foods with vitamin A and vitamin C, the symptoms aren't so bad. Where we all know vitamin C is in fruit. So if you can drink good fruit juice, if you're an infant or older, have a 1 or 2 small bowls of fruit a day will do you a world of good. Also, if you eat something that's big in vitamin A, like some of the vegetables like carrots and others, and that's a, even, let's see, I think even chicken soup is very good. A number of things, but I'm telling you right now before we take a break, don't eat junk food, don't have sodas, anything with heavy sugar like jellies and jams. Stay away from all of that if you have the measles. It makes your rashes sting even more. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back before you know it with some more pointers. I want to introduce you to our main sponsor, Highland Plaza, located on US 1 on the east side of the Highland Drive traffic light. We even have our own left-hand turn lane. One of the places in there, the first one on the north side, is Easy Stop, and you will be surprised what competitive and beautiful prices they have. You should give it a shot. Also, Tony's Hairstyling Salon is ideal for the entire family at all ages. He and his wife have run a salon there for years with a huge following. Also, we want to tell you about La Taberna Restaurant. It has the freshest Mexican food in town and a well-experienced chef. You will be most surprised not only by the food, but the reasonable prices. Also, I want to tell you about the nail salon. It's Luxury Nails. Let me tell you, they do everything, both for walk-in clients and appointments. Appointments are really appreciated, but they treat all clients professionally. Now, I want to repeat to you, this is located on US 1, just east of Highland Drive at the traffic light. It's a beautiful yellow building with a maroon awning. We look forward to seeing you there. Come on over.
It's time to call Easy Brew Coffee and Bottled Water Service and learn just how much you can save and how convenient it is to have your coffee and bottled water delivered right to your home or office. In addition to water coolers, Easy Brew offers individual bottles of water in 8 or 16-ounce bottles. No more lugging it home or dragging it into the office. Serving the Treasure Coast for over 2 decades, 2 letters, 1 simple name. Easy for Easy Brew. Visit e-zbrew.com or call 800-792-3285. Easy Brew.
Ponder life's twists and turns with Morning After Grace, the uproarious stage production at Riverside Theater. Join 3 friends as they navigate the hilarious and heartwarming roller coaster of love, loss, and unexpected revelations. It's a story that reminds us it's never too late to embrace change and start anew. Morning After Grace is now playing on the Waxlack stage at Vero's beautiful Riverside Theater. Get your best tickets now at the box office or riversidetheater.com.
Sunshine, furniture brightens up your day. At Sunshine Furniture, our 35,000 square foot showroom is filled with the largest selection of in-stock coastal furniture on the Treasure Coast. Dining and bedroom sets, occasional tables, sofas, sleeper sofas, love seats and chairs in all the latest styles and colors from Tommy Bahama, Lexington, Hooker, Riverside, Universal, Four Seasons, Braxton Color, and Capri. We're the outdoor furniture experts and have hundreds of styles of any patio furniture you need, including a gallery of Berlin Gardens and Pollywood. We're having a big January clearance sale, including all pictures, lamps, and accessories half price. Sunshine Furniture, $12.95 US 1 in Vero Beach next to Planet Fitness. Family owned and operated since 1991. Don't forget to visit our outlet and sales store directly across the street and visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com.
Sunshine Furniture.
Okay, welcome back. Hey, there's one thing that I forgot to tell you also about measles, and thank God it doesn't happen a lot. But one of the side effects of it is blindness also, if the virus gets into your eyes. I just got done telling you how bad encephalitis is. So when you have it, it's easy. Bed rest and drink a lot of fluids, but don't say, oh, I've got to go outside and do something in the yard or something, because that runs you down. You want your body to spend 100% of its time fighting the virus, and then you won't have complications. Needless to say, women are more obedient when it comes to things like that than many men. Many men could say, oh, we'll get over it. I've got to do things. And it ends up lasting longer, or they get complications.
How does the virus get in your eyes, Martha? You mean by touching a rash and putting it in your eyes?
We're touching the rash and rubbing your fingers into your eye to remove sand from sleeping and that type of thing. And you have to do a lot of it in order for it to get to your eyes. If you keep your hands away from your eyes while you're recovering, you probably will not get the blindness. It doesn't happen in a lot of people, but it does happen. And it's those that are rubbing their eyes all the time. They either have an itch, or they or from sleeping so much during the day and night, they feel they need to remove what we call sand, the dried up eye water, and that will do it. So try not to do it. If you need to wipe your eyes while you have the symptoms, get a real thick, let's say a dry washcloth, something like that, and wipe your eye. Don't use your fingers directly. Well, we're running out of time, but let me tell you, it's a very easy disease to treat. There's basically no treatment except rest, loads of fluid, and healthier foods that have vitamins. It wouldn't hurt you to take a vitamin A and C supplement, especially as an adult, not an infant that would choke on them or something. But as an adult, if you get it over 50, by all means, take vitamin A and C, and that all helps your immune system on fighting this. And it really, really makes a difference. If you have any further questions for me, you're welcome to call at area code 772-231-0001 and ask for Martha. I'll give you some ideas on doctors and where to go and what to do if you have any further questions after listening to this. I look forward to hearing from you, and hey, have a great week. We'll be with you next week. Take care.